want to talk about is because you guys are two heavy hitter developers, right? And I think you guys are in a very similar space. Like it's both kind of like residential too. I don't know. I mean, do you do commercial stuff? And I know we
Yeah.
commercial.
So we have a common
Development.
we have a common denominator, and that's hike.
Oh, okay.
That's how I knew you.
So
Really?
what is this?
Space and Mark. Hike Action is also my architect.
And when did you start using him?
Probably 10 years ago.
Back when he was in East Rutherford?
Oh yeah, maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah, because he used...
A while ago, before he even had the office, and then he had the office, and then I moved him to Summit.
Okay.
So I was the one that moved him to Summit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, because he got...
He was in Westfield.
Yes, he was at Westfield, and then who gave him that?
Yeah.
That other agent. I forgot her name.
Czech. The
yeah,
Czech
yeah,
from
yeah.
Compass.
Yes, exactly.
I forgot her name. She's some Polish Czech. Yeah.
Man, that's gonna piss me off. I'm gonna remember. I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna
I
blurt
know
it out.
her name.
Yeah.
Too.
I'm just gonna blurt it out because that's gonna piss me off that I don't know her name.
Shout
I was just
out
talking
chick
about
from Compass.
but no.
She's really cool. I like her a lot.
Yeah, I known Hike since he was
got
at
me
it.
an off-market deal. In
Where?
Westfield.
Oh, Westfield. Yeah. Not really a fan of that market. Anything over. I mean, we're fine. We do stuff there, but not like.
This is what we gotta talk about.
Not huge.
Talk about what?
Not huge on it.
I just want to ask him questions.
Hey, go ahead.
I'm done. But
Right. But no, go ahead.
Hike I knew since he was at his parents' house, long time ago.
No
like
way.
he was in East Rutherford in
Wait,
his
but
parents'
what's your
house.
background? You guys are no. He's Turkish,
Yeah, no, he's Armenian.
Armenian.
Yeah,
Tur-
Armenian, and then I'm Polish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Got
different.
it.
Same, but different.
So you're fully Polish.
Yeah. Well, I was born there. I moved here when I was 5.
My
I haven't
wife-
been back in a minute, but
No
Oh,
way.
really?
I didn't know that.
yeah. Yeah, I
My
moved
wife
here.
is Polish, Colombian, Italian.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So her
I know all about the Colombians, baby.
So wait, hold on. Let's talk about markets because that's interesting. So like, what makes a market better than the other, like a different market?
Just client. Like you have to know who your client is. The thing is, like we by nature do Westfield, Cranford, Fanwood, Scotch Plains. I mean, those are really the big 3. We don't even go to Berkeley Heights or anything like that. But like it's the same client. It's predominantly Indian most of the time. Predominantly a certain type of demographic of not demographic, like career choice, right? Typically white collar, not many blue. I mean, sometimes blue collar, but the same kind of median household income, same kind of position in their life, or like a timing in their life where they're like maybe starting a family and or have a kid and or want to have more kids and or already have 5 or 6 kids or 4 kids, whatever.
Right.
So it's like the clientele's the same. The only difference is like the transfer, right? Like if you can't afford Westfield, you go to Scotch Plains. If you can't afford Scotch Plains, you go to Fanwood, right? So it's like if there's a certain pool of people that afford, but within markets there are certain people that can afford different things. Like for example, Scotch Plains has I think south side of Scotch Plains, that's like $2, $3, $4 million houses like Cooper Road and all that stuff. But then you have the more affordable side that has like $1 million house closer to 22. Same thing in Westfield. Westfield has not the best and the best, right? Cranford has the same. So every town has its own thing, and every town has its own like substrata of places, but you kind of just have to.
Do you have a certain amount of square footage you limit it to?
2,400.
I knew it.
Like that's nothing more, nothing
That's
less.
what I think. That's what Hike mentioned. Shout out to Space and Mark.
Yeah.
Hike. For bringing this together. But anyway, so 2,400.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you like that so much?
Because they don't need more, they don't need less. It's that it took a lot of experimenting. We started at like 3,000 and kind of chopped down. But after after you go below 2,400 square feet, everything just becomes too tight. Like you take content. The house is the same kind of cookie cutter thing.
Yeah.
Right. Even though we kind of retrofit it, make it a little bit different.
Productized.
Yeah.
So what you're saying you're doing is you're bringing that sort of developer Toll Brothers mentality, but you're diversifying it amongst the entire town or city instead of having it be located in like one little development.
Oh well, yeah, you
of
can't.
Like 500 units.
Yeah, you can't
or
do
whatever
that.
it is. Like
yeah.
You're doing the same thing where you're getting your designs, and they're similar, very similar in design, very similar in colors, very similar in
Yeah, but it's not a spec. So when you build a development or a major subdivision, you have like 4 or 5 models. Whatever, depending on how many homes. If you have 10 homes, you do like 2 or 3 models, and you get to pick model A, B, C, and then whatever they want in each model. It's the same foundation footprint, but the structure, the framing is different, right? So you can't do that in an area that dense, because how are you going to find enough land in such a populated area where you can plop up 20 homes or 30 homes? That's the goal. Like, our goal is to be production builders more so. I mean, we're already doing.
I mean, you got Simpson Park.
Yeah, but that's nothing.
I know.
That's
nothing.
nothing.
Still
like,
cool.
This year we're probably going to close the year at 25 homes or something. Right. Next year we're trying to do a little bit more and a little bit more. Our goal is to grow like 35% a year, because that's like an extra 3 or 4 homes compounded every single year more. But dude, like, that's nothing. Like, I went to an event the other day. The smallest, not the biggest, the smallest guy was going to close this year in New Jersey at 600 homes.
Yeah.
What event?
That's tiny.
How do I go to this event?
And that's
So I actually went to a Builder Trend conference because we're using
Okay.
Builder Trend.
Okay.
I don't know if you're using Builder Trend.
No,
or
we don't.
anything
But
like
I know of it, yeah.
Great software, by the way. I went to Nebraska for the training and stuff. And it's funny that he said that, because I met a few other builders, and they're like, 600 to 1,000 homes a year. And, they're using the software and everything. And I'm just like, absorbing it all. Because here I am thinking, oh, I'm doing 25 homes a year or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's great. Like, they just made me look like, yeah. They have a system, though. It's that production.
Yeah, it's a production builder. That's what you are.
It's
It's the only way to scale it, right? Because I mean, if you
Yeah.
customize,
You just have to.
I mean, a lot of the builds that I do are like, custom high end. So, you're, I don't know, 7,000 square foot home.
Yeah.
You're
Like, I don't.
your watch on.
I could give 2
your-
shits about that. I don't. The second
Wait,
someone gets
why,
me a
though?
deal,
Like, how do you pick your
so
market?
different.
it's a
I
different
didn't pick
beast.
it. Did you pick it?
I fell into it, but it's not. I like it. It's cookie cutter, but it's not.
It's control.
Yeah,
You're
like-
controlling your environment.
Yeah, there's
So
more
you're-
people. That's what I care about. Like, I just had this conversation with yesterday, right?
What do you mean by more people?
There's way more people looking for a $2,400 $1 million house than a $7,000 $3-4 million house or $2 million or whatever.
But you like to deal with more homeowners, because homeowners are the bane of my existence.
So again, it always comes down to the customer's always right. Like, no matter what, like, without them, you have no business. Somebody needs to be willing to buy your shit. Like, period. Like, no matter what your business you are, you could be selling cookies. If you can't sell cookies to people, people don't want to buy your cookies. You don't make money, right? Simple as that. So same thing applies to houses. There's just more people. In my view, again, investment-wise and business-wise, what's the number one thing a business needs to do other than make money to stay alive?
Grow. I don't know.
That's staying alive.
Yeah.
Think what else?
Customer service.
There's reward, and then there's
The stick. The
risk.
Yeah.
Risk mitigation. So the way to mitigate risk is target a bigger population. Bigger population equals more customers equals more spending power.
Well, yeah.
Yes, so you're not centralizing. Hey,
You're not worried about one client that's gonna pretty much like make your. It's like a big ship will sink faster. So you're not worried about one client that's gonna take over everything, and then if you lose that one account, you're done. Your business is over.
Same. So like instead of having 10 clients that can afford $3 million each, you have 21 clients $1 million.
I guess I'm okay with that only because my focus isn't to have this production. I'm not competing with Prawdzik. I'm more so just adding to my portfolio.
Of course.
So that's my goal. My goal is to have investment properties, add to my portfolio, add more doors, add more multifamilies, build buildings.
How many people are on your team? On payroll.
On payroll? I'd say about maybe 5 or around that.
Yeah. It's again
Obviously with the subs and all of that, it's different.
Oh no, that's different.
The field is completely different, but
Same but different. I'm
But
getting
yeah.
that a lot. Like, you guys are doing the kind of like the exact same thing.
I mean,
but
you're similar or
totally
no?
different.
No, we have way more, but still, like, there's different. Like, I think I told you this many times too. In real estate, you can have the peewee that owns 2 rental properties, very happy, travels the world, because you only need 2. If you have 2 good properties you bought in New Jersey that are going to appreciate forever because New Jersey's never going to go down in
That's
value.
like $5K a month, right?
Yeah. You can literally say, I'm done. I'm going to go travel the
Not
world.
if you have kids.
Yeah, but still, like
you're
you get my
married to
point.
give-
Would you say that you can disassociate from your business, disconnect, and be okay?
If I was to, but I wouldn't do that. My personality, I would not do
Right.
that.
Well,
if I said I was going
just to
to,
say,
yeah, I would. Like I could be fine.
You would just find something else to put your like energy into.
Yeah, no. Like if we didn't even like talk about what happened after, like just to say like if today I decided fuck it, I'm done, I'll be fine for the rest of my life. My kids will be fine.
But would you sell it, or would you have someone replace you and still own it?
Oh no, like yeah, like someone's what's the succeed me in the CEO? Yeah, sure, I would do that.
And still own it?
I wouldn't do that now though. Definitely not now. Like I already have three other ideas I want to work on one by one after this. So that's already.
so you had a mark, like, what was your background in? Aside from build, before you started building, before you fell into it.
So after high school,
What was your passion, just to like make money and to,
No, it's more legacy. I don't care about money, dude. I'm telling you. And everyone in the company, I make the least amount of money. I don't give 2 shits about money, but
well, you know,
it's more so legacy, like leaving something for the greater like team. You know, like everybody contributes to this. Like it's not my company because I don't do shit. I just move the pieces, right? So like I find a person. I try my best to find the people, and then I put them in their position, right? And I say, okay, you need to do this way, and then you'll be very good at it. As long as you listen to me, you'll be fine, right? And then I maximize their potential. So I'm kind of maximizing them while they're collaborating with other maximized people, A players, let's call them. A players like to work with A players, therefore the company grows at a faster rate, right? And then by then,
well, you're using people's strengths.
yeah, correct,
You're maximizing their strengths.
correct. And then by that, the company value goes up.
And how do you know their strengths? You're just pretty much with them for a certain amount of time, and you're kind of like absorbing it all, and then you're realizing, wait a second, you're good at this, and you have to move here, and then you're better at this.
Yeah,
and
you
you're
do.
gonna-
Sometimes that
what you
happens.
do.
Yeah, a lot of people, they don't know what they're really good at. They kind of give you a well-rounded picture, but nothing concrete. And then it's your job to kind of pick and choose. All right,
Right.
this is it for you. Like you got to do this.
Right.
But yeah, like going back to the original question, the goal is not money. The goal, it's just a byproduct of what you do, right?
Well, when the goal is money, it's selfish.
Yeah.
And when it's selfish, it's not actually giving to the business. In the end,
yeah, I guess.
in
you
the
could say
end,
that.
when I feel like when the goal is money, it's built to fail.
yeah,
Maybe not that. Maybe I'm kind of
Okay, makes
not,
sense.
you know what I mean? I'm
I heard
saying
it's like bloat. It's like it gets bigger, but it's
what
not.
happens
like,
is when you're selfish, you're not like sharing the pie. You're not. What he's doing is he's kind of like, hey, everybody, this is all us. We're gonna succeed or we're not gonna succeed, right? Yeah. And the more we add to this team, we have to now succeed further, and we have to just, So yeah, I would say money, yes, is great, and everybody wants to have money, but they're not realizing that that's just like that's gonna come, especially in real estate. I feel like just as the properties appreciate, you always make more. You find more.
And I also think that you guys are obviously you guys have a product, but more importantly, you guys are providing a service to people, right? And that's, in my opinion, from what I've seen, is like
there's a demand that apparently you're hitting with that supply.
Oh well, yeah.
You're
There's
providing,
always
and it's
something.
great. And it's like he found that niche where it's awesome. That 2,400 square foot, which is great.
So why is
build
three?
new? You build new, or no remodels.
I sent right
Seems
now
like-
nothing.
Yeah, it seems like it's because to make it cookie cutter,
You have to.
you have to knock it
yeah,
down.
correct.
So as a builder, I know that I don't know if you use Superior Walls or Superior Walls.
Who's that? Sheetrock?
No. So they're prefab concrete walls. You deal with Wayne a lot?
No, I deal with Brian.
Okay.
Right. Well, I know Wayne.
I remember Superior Walls. I don't know when you started. When did you start?
7 years ago.
So I was about 11 years ago or 12 years ago. I started with Superior Walls. I found them in an expo.
Okay.
And I went to, an expo, and then I I met Wayne, and I was like the 4th house in New Jersey to have superior walls, and they like, you know, they gave it to me for like half the price of like block, you know, because they were testing the market, they had the crane and everything. Now it's blowing up, but it's just like efficiency, and my masons were against it because they were like, you know, you can't do that. You're taking work from us, not realizing that really, you know, there's still some masonry in a house. There's sidewalks, there's stone veneer, there's, you know, there's brick, there's whatever. But yeah, I mean, superior wall. So that makes it cookie cutter, where when you're remodeling a home, you're dealing with unknowns all the time. Sill plate has termites. You got to remove the sill plate. You got to put this in. You don't know what the lumber's like. You don't know what the levels are. You know, the walls are all off. Then you have to skim coat it. So really, it's actually more work with the same trades. And that's what I think. And I think it's like more money out for new construction in the beginning, but it's more money in on the end product.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, but by cookie cutter, don't get it like a lot of people think cookie cutter. They're like, oh, yeah, it's just a basic piece of shit house. Cookie cutter, just in my view, means like there's it's a production, like it's a streamlined process. And like he mentioned, when you do renovations, there is no streamlined process, even though the construction process never changes. Everybody knows kind of like the background, right? Demo, framing, rough, insulation, sheetrock, da.
So
right? Same shit.
I'm building I'm restoring a historical home for myself, right?
Where?
And here in Nutley.
Okay.
It's a nice, beautiful, you know, gorgeous lot on an 1.5 acres, you know, 8,000 square feet. It's a
lot of house, man.
It's a lot of house, yeah.
For you and who? How many? Do you have kids?
I have 4 kids.
Okay, that's still a lot of house, dude.
That's a lot of house. That's a lot of house.
That's 2,000 per kid, bro. That's a house for each kid.
Wait,
we're gonna have chickens and
okay,
and roosters and stuff.
we'll see.
I mean, it's 1.5 acres in Nutley. That's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah. It's deed restricted. It's historical. I have to go through the historic committee.
Yeah.
I've done it before with Glen Ridge, Montclair. Anyway, but there's like this other builder who's building these new construction homes, and he finished. And
Here in Nutley?
He's done.
yeah, he was done in like, you know, 5 months, 6 months. He was done, and everybody's like, "Oh, look at that builder. He's done," and you're not. They don't understand.
It's a different game.
It is a whole other like a renovation and a historical restoration is like just it's just time consuming. Yeah, because it's always like everything you take out, you discover something new, a new problem. Every day there are new problems.
So why'd you want
But
it?
the problems in new construction are because of the negligence or because of the mistakes of the subs or because of, right? Would
It's
you say
production
that?
stuff, yeah. You like at a certain point you get so big that like things are going to happen.
There's some quality control you're missing.
Yes, there's you
would say
either
that.
get growth or you get quality.
Yeah.
Right? Like at a certain point when you run the project yourself, you limit scale. When you have a project manager, you can get a little more scale. Now when you talk, let's say you want to do 1,000 homes a year, right? There's no way that less than 20 PMs are going to do that. Each PM, I would say, to get really good quality, cannot do more than 6 homes. 1 PM, 6 homes. You're doing 20 homes a year, you need at minimum 3 boots on the ground people. Maybe there's one head project manager, and then there's like 4 under him, and then the project manager, the head, reports to like me or whoever else is the lead of construction. Let's say chief construction manager, whatever you want to call it. But in my view, from my experience, after 6, you just start to like things fall through the cracks.
Right.
And the issue what becomes is when you scale, economies of scale and I talked about this with you before last time we did a podcast. Like I'm very corporate finance driven. So the mistake of one guy and the delay of one guy will cost you, let's say, $1,000.
Right.
Multiply that by X amount of mistakes per job. It's
not worth it.
Next thing you know, you tally up that between 5 or 6 project managers, you have enough to pay an extra person. So you're not really, instead of thinking of, oh, I don't make enough money to hire this person, you have to reverse engineer and say, okay, if I do hire this person, how much do I need to make and how many mistakes will he solve and will the money be made up? Even if it's not fully made up, you've made up a good chunk of his pay, right? Including comp, bonuses, all that stuff, and stock option, all that shit. So the point is once you get to a certain size and the snowball starts rolling down the cliff for you, and you start to get more project managers, more projects, more project managers, more projects, bigger sales team, bigger marketing team, so on and so forth, there is no option but for you to think in risk mitigation versus making money. Like for us, there's times we don't make any money on the house, right, but we need to do the business because we're production builders. Like the company's so big to the point, and it's not that big, but it's to a point where it's big enough where we can sweep a break even or a very bare minimum gain under the rug and say, fuck it. Like we kept busy for X amount of time, right? And then kind of that mentality drives your labor efficiency down. So we don't want to do that. But there's times where, like he said, customers are a pain in the ass, right? So they will always try, they won't do it intentionally. They just, like you have to deal with the people that are going to give you a hard time, and you're going to have to deal with the people that don't.
You have someone that specifically deals with the clients? Yeah,
it's Hugo. Hugo's the sales guy. So Hugo's does
customer service,
customer relations, customer.
Yeah. So my vision and what I've been trying to kind of tell Hugo that he needs to start doing is hiring another person under him, because at this point we're getting so big that his number one responsibility is to just make revenue. Sell upgrades, sell change orders, sell the home for more money, sell the home in general, just period. Have someone else on your team, on the sales team, that's going to give like that collaboration and that kind of teamwork for you. To say, okay, you deal with the customer, get them down the funnel to me up to like when they're basically 95% converted. I'll close them on the 5%, get the upgrades, get the change orders. Because now what's happening is we get most of our change orders in front. Meaning, like, before you start building, we have a list of everything that's getting changed.
Well, you have that, not the statistic, but you have the information and the resources from the other builds, and you accumulated all of them, and you put them together and said, well, this is the most common change order. Right?
Yeah,
so you're kind of just like showing it and saying, hey, look, fireplaces, that's a change order, right?
Correct.
A bunch of little things like that, kitchens and
so you
backsplashes
could tell,
and this and that.
The thing is, each person's a little different, right? So not everyone's going to want the same kind of things, but internally,
well, that's where you're not cookie cutter, but you're kind of
you let them customize.
That's your quality control, because a lot of the times you're building, you want to know before the build.
Yeah,
or
but
not that
you can't expect the customer to make the decision right away. That's what Hugo's job is, right? To paint that picture. Paint the picture, make it nice, make it pretty.
Well, that's great. So you have kind of like, Hugo's almost like the design.
No, because we have a separate design team.
Got it.
Like Hugo is just client-facing, director of sales, Prawdzik, this is what we do.
So you don't have the design team communicate with the homeowner?
No, the sales team that communicates with the homeowner.
Because why is that?
Because the design's team internal to us. Because if the design team was to be hired by the homeowner, then we stay out of it. Design the home, boom.
Right.
So you do that?
So there is, that's interesting, because a lot of the high-end builds that I do, the design team is in direct communication with the homeowner.
Who's paying the design team?
The homeowner.
That's my point. Once they pay, we pay the design. We have our own internal design team. We could say, hey,
do you still need them?
But you have to make sure that.
No, that's my point.
You have to somehow make sure there's some you could you could overstretch it with design. Like, how do you limit that so that you're not losing money on the design?
We control it. Because once the homeowner gets involved, then it's
because when the homeowner gets involved, it's like hand holding to no end.
That's why. That's my point. That's why we stay in the middle, because we limit it. We say doesn't matter. Option one or this option that we were going to select costs $300.
So you have your options.
Yeah.
Got it.
I said I don't give a fuck if you pick $1 million toilet. You're paying the difference between $1 million and $300. Yeah, that's whatever.
Well. It gets a little confusing, because in construction, sometimes when you're picking $1 million toilet, you have
$1 million
diverters and whatever internal parts to the construction of the toilet
that you charge your change order.
That you have to charge for. It's not just the material aspect of it; it's the labor aspect. So
that's where Hugo
marble
comes
and you're putting Cristallo countertops or whatever. You need a different set of crews. You need different trades and people.
Yeah.
So how do you? Sometimes you get that.
All the time.
But sometimes you get that person, that client that says, "Hey, I want $1 million toilet." Who handles that?
That's Hugo.
Hugo's like, "No, you don't want that, because then you get this toilet. Look,
but then he's gonna have to talk to the construction team, right?
Yeah. So
and then
Hugo's
and then he's like, "Hey, can you guys do this?" And then you price it out, I'm assuming, and then you just put it in.
Yeah, construction team does that. Again, in terms of day to day, my involvement's very, very small.
Can we go over departments just so I get a better understanding? So like we have,
We have 8 departments really.
This is where it stops, and it's like $500 for subscribers.
oh yeah, we got a paywall.
SaaS model.
This is where
If you want more information,
you
you
need
get
to
the
upgrade.
premium.
You're gonna have to subscribe.
It's like OnlyFans.
First off.
It's like OnlyFans.
You're gonna have to.
Dude,
I just took my shirt off. I'm not taking my bra off.
It's never. You gotta pay more. You gotta pay some extra.
but yeah, so it's marketing, sales. Sales is acquisitions and dispositions. Again,
What's dispositions?
is selling. So like
okay.
acquisitions is buying,
acquiring.
yeah, whatever,
Got
and
it.
then dispositions is upgrades, change orders, selling the home, client relations, all that shit. Then you have construction. Construction has a sub branch called warranty. Warranty is driven by 2 people, right? And then you have finance. Finance is just kind of like all encompassing. There's like capital management and all that stuff, but finance is the key department. Then you have operation. Operation is Erica, as you know.
Open the door.
And then you have rental management. Rental management is its own sub kind of thing on the side, but rental management's another department. And then you have,
Did you guys use Buildium for that?
yeah,
I use Buildium as well.
building. What's up, David?
I have a question. So like, how many people are on these teams? Or like, how big are these? And a better question: are they like payroll, or are they like? Do you outsource these teams?
No,
and
most
then
of it's most of it's payroll with bonuses and stuff.
So you've built up these. How do you structure it?
Me?
Yeah.
My business, I would say my business is more on the rental side.
But don't you still need?
You know,
marketing
my
sales?
revenue, my the rents. Yeah, I do builds, obviously, yes, with development and everything. But because it's so customized, I don't have the teams structured in that way at all. I just have about 3 or 4 individuals that are all on the top, that are managing that bottom heavy,
So it's almost like a C-suite, right?
Yeah, I would say that what he's saying is he has, for example, Hugo only doing the sales. What he's doing is incredible. It's genius. He has all the individuals maximized to what they do. So Hugo's an agent. He sells. He's talented in selling. So that's what he has him doing, is selling, and that's it. I have like almost like clones of me into like 3 or 4. And they're kind of spread out through everything because my clients always want to talk to me in high-end builds. And I would say that in a high-end build, it's very difficult for you to do 20 at a time. You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't.
It's impossible, You'll get paid a lot for a high-end build, because some of the high-end builds, like, Brendan Maselli and all those guys, they're building $15, $25 million homes. So I was called out to go to the Hamptons.
You don't need many.
I was about to say you just need like 3, right?
No,
And you're
yeah.
good?
I mean, I was called out to go to the Hamptons to do like a high-end kitchen. I was, we were all over the place. Connecticut, Tuxedo Park, Orange County, New York, and all those areas. So maybe Prawdzik would call me if a client wanted this insane kitchen.
Yeah. It's not like we
It's
turn
not
down
his
jobs
thing.
all the time.
So he would probably call me and say, "Hey, Mina, can you have your team do this?" Sure, no problem, because he doesn't want to like
Deal with it.
Yeah.
divert to something that's. But but then again, I have the development side, which is the commercial multifamilies, the units, the 25, 30, whatever. All of that is also very. I don't know how to say it, but it's more high focused engineering, civil engineering, site engineering, like all of that. It's a very heavy professional
Yeah.
type.
The front end is.
Front end, yeah. That a lot of the other trades, they're not a lot of trades. The mason is pretty much doing most of the site work with the excavator. It's like, so there's less management in that. There's more management in the high level.
Oh yeah.
In the high level.
You're dealing with customers.
So
buildings
so
are commercialized.
Yeah, my time is actually taken away. So our time is allocated a little differently. I mean, I would say that he's building this like streamlined system, and structure that I actually want to do with the elevators.
What about Coluxy too, though? Can't you do that with Coluxy?
Oh, you're in the elevator business? You're competing against some big boys,
Look at
bro.
this shirt. Look at this shirt, bro.
Yeah, but elevator contractor, I figured
My
out.
company.
But that's elevators.
Yeah. So.
Or is that elevator company?
Explain it. Explain it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I thought elevator
just
company
like you
was
found, just like you found your niche with 2,400 square feet. A lot of the high-end builds that I was doing, I'm always putting elevators in them, and
And who'd you use to do that?
I used elevator companies like Mobility, Accredited, Crown, Liberty, there's a bunch of companies. There's probably about 12, 13 around
Yeah, but there's
that.
like 3 big boys.
No,
Mobility
those
is
commercial.
one of. Oh, is it
Different than residential.
Oh, okay.
I did residential.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Those guys are like you can't compete with.
Yeah, you can't.
Monopoly?
Otis,
Yeah,
Otis, Schindler,
And Kone.
Kone. Yeah, you can't compete with those guys. Those are like
Just in perspective, like we're just doing a building now. Kone came in at like 120. The next best closest price was 250.
and Schindler is like 350.
Yeah, Schindler's the most expensive.
Commercial?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is this what we were talking about last time?
maybe, I don't know. Do we
Yeah,
have
how many stories?
3?
3 stories for Kone.
Yeah.
3 stories was the 120. Yeah, 5 stories is probably like 3 and a change.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yo.
Hey guys. So yeah, the elevators I don't install. See, I realize that in residential construction, there's a huge demand for elevators, for mobility, accessibility in homes, especially in New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut. They're so condensed, the homes, that they don't have that ability to have ranches like Florida, with the land that's
of course,
available. So they can only go vertical. And so to do that, there's a lot of aging in place populations, and there's a huge demand for residential elevators. So my company, what I do is I have contractors that work on the shafts and the disconnects and everything that complement the elevator company. The elevator company comes in and installs. They're the dealer that sells the elevator itself and the mechanics. I'm not into installing the actual elevator.
You just
but when they sell the elevator,
assembling the shaft.
when they sell the elevator, the homeowners ask their builders, ask their contractors, hey, can you work with the elevator company on this? And they're like, this is our first time doing it. I've had builders and contractors quote 5x more than what I quoted, only because
They don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because it's not like when you look at a set of shop drawings from an elevator company, it's like a little overwhelming the first time you look at it. They
Right.
got like spider brackets, they got the hoist beam where that
Right.
goes, they have like the
Right.
elevator pit, or how deep it needs to go. I fucked up the
depth,
first one I did.
Right. The
A
doors.
shit ton.
Yeah. The doors are like a whole other thing.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
like landing doors being exactly plumb. And,
Yeah.
so just like you have a sheetrock sub, you would call elevator contractors to do
just build the shaft.
And
Footing.
everything around it from start to finish, just like the fireplace company.
It's like fire and safety, all that stuff is in there.
That's it. And what I do is
How about the 3-phase power that you need? Do you need 3-phase power for
sometimes 3-phase, sometimes 2-phase, but yeah,
Okay.
mainly, I have that. I'm streamlining that.
Okay,
That's my.
that is definitely a
streamline.
niche.
It's a big niche.
Yeah,
It's
I'll tell you that.
It's a huge.
Yeah, I won't give you the elevator, but I'll build you the shaft. So if
Yeah.
you would decide,
Yeah.
if you run out of money and you can't put an elevator in it, sorry.
because you have the option. You also have the option to hire us, and not hire the elevator company yet.
Oh, and then
You could get the elevator company
but then will you
10
get
years down
CO?
the line,
will you get the CO?
huh?
Will you get CO if you have an open
you just,
shaft in your
no,
house?
you just put the platforms in and you put the doors in and you're done. You put the solid doors in and you're putting.
Really?
There's ways around it. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what
but
I.
that won't
So I
pass.
have meetings with. I have
Wait, what
meetings
won't it
with
pass?
a bunch of developers, right? And with those developers, now they're realizing here's what's happening. You know the Enclave, right? The development there that they're doing. So I'm doing a few elevators there, right? And they built these closets, right, to have elevators. But what they're not realizing is that
Elevator equipment.
right,
Okay.
but they're not realizing that they're not even choosing a spec. Imagine you're building out framework for the fireplace, right? But the homeowner says, yeah, but this is only the 3000 CLX. I don't know what you do. Fireside? Who you use for fireplaces?
We will,
Whatever it is.
Typically get it from online, eFireplace.
Got it. So a lot of the times, you have the specs for the fireplace, right? You have whatever dimension it is. So you have to select, the most common elevator
Yeah.
in order to go by those specs. But the builders and the designers of Toll Brothers and Enclave and they're not even looking at the specs. They're just building a 3x3 40 shaft. They're not realizing that some of the walls, the rail walls, are different. So they need all.
Does residential need to be ADA compliant?
Not necessarily, no.
Really? Yeah, because all the shafts for commercial, you need to have like
No.
7'6" by 6'6"
No,
or something.
no, you're private. You're
Really?
residential. No,
Oh wow, see. And how about
no.
wow,
But ADHD
Here's
is
the
wheelchair
thing.
stuff,
Here's the
right?
thing.
ADA.
Here's the thing.
ADHD.
Aging in place. ADD compliant.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. The elevators are huge.
That sounds niche.
14 billion is going to be spent in residential
Really?
elevators in New Jersey, New York, and PA in the next like 2 years.
Really?
So that market, I'm trying to take over that market.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds. I mean, even
residential.
if you take a piece of that.
Yeah, because like I'm not competing with the developers and the commercial developers that are doing the big elevators. That's it. They got that market. Otis, Schindler.
Yeah.
All of them have that market. And I'm a builder at trade. So those guys, they're developing anyway according to specs of the architects, and then the elevator companies just come in and install. So just to get it right, I purchased the company Elevator Contractors, not an elevator company, and that's a little different.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So there's a marriage to it.
Yeah.
And you know how it is. There's a marriage to it because modifying homes, a lot of people are like, they can't understand that. Your parents are getting older and they're like, oh, let's put a stair lift. They don't understand that it's actually as affordable to just put in the elevator.
That's crazy.
And
to
it looks
think.
better. And it's aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, but you have
And
to
it appreciates the
reconfigure
property.
the whole fucking house.
Not really. I mean, I do. I mean, that's my job.
Oh, so you build and then you say, hey, if you need an elevator, I got you.
No, not even in the builds. Most of my elevator jobs are modifications.
Really?
Yep.
It's all old people that bought it already.
Most of them are in a home. Yeah, I mean, you filmed some of them. They're in homes that are existing.
How do you fit a shaft anywhere?
That's
do you put it on the outside?
That's huh?
Can you put it on the outside and just connect it?
We
into
do it
the house?
outside, inside. We've done it everywhere. We've done it, and the way we've done it, they're so happy. I mean, we actually did it in a development in Morristown, Moore's Estates. I don't know if you heard of it.
No.
Huge development, and they never had like areas for the elevator. And I selected one location in one of the jobs, and it turned into like 15 jobs after that of the same location
because it's niche as hell. Yeah.
Yeah, so they realized, oh my gosh, it looks good. It looks great. It's right by the staircase. You can't even tell. It's
Damn, I can't. I'm surprised.
Obviously, the glass elevators are a little more complicated because you have to put your LVLs, like you have to span them out. So so your floor can't just be floating. A lot of people think you're just cutting a hole. And
Yeah.
your pit, your this, your that, your communication with the elevator company is important.
So who does all the legwork? You do, or somebody else on your team?
No, I do. I mean, what do you mean by that?
Just like coordinate, like the coordination, the development of it.
Yeah, this is like I mean, we're in it. I think this is our second year, and I mean, it's slowly, gradually, growing into something else with like more teams and stuff. But yeah, I'm doing all the legwork. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Wow, that's a niche. That is definitely niche.
Yeah.
Imagine
It's
that.
really cool. Yeah, it's a big.
I
huge
I
demand.
just didn't think there was a demand. I'm like, how many homes can possibly
Old people.
want an elevator?
I mean,
baby boomers. That's what it is right now.
They got that much
eventually-
money?
Eventually, if you realize,
Finance.
you realize that like even like now, if you break it down with the trades, right?
Oh yeah. Do you offer financing?
Yeah. Right now, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
And you deal with that? You felicitate that too, or you just kind of say, hey, this is the guy you got to talk to?
Builder Trend has financing options
Okay.
on their system
Okay.
that you could use.
You can't use Klarna or nothing.
Yeah, there are a few same lenders that I work with. I don't know who you work with the lenders in here, but I have Scott Sapol, NJ Lenders. He's a great guy, and I use him. And
But it's like a conventional type of loan, or like a
no, the
personal
Builder
loan?
Trend one is just a construction loan. It's sort of like you purchasing a vehicle.
okay.
Same thing. It's not
I got it.
It's not a HELOC. It's not a refi. It's
Got
not
it.
anything like that.
Okay.
But those are what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something competitive like that where I could
Yeah.
provide that because $700 a month, and then that's it. And
you get an elevator.
You know,
Oh,
so
that
if you
sounds
add
crazy.
that, a lot of people are thinking, well, that's a no-brainer because even that Indian clientele that
I'm
you're
not
talking
living.
about,
I'm not living for more than 10 years. I don't need this elevator for long. Fuck that. I'm gonna pay for $700 for a couple of months and die.
but you know, your taxes go up and it's $700 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's not a dent to your lifestyle changes completely.
Yeah.
So like a lot of those people are consolidating. A lot of families are coming in with their parents, and I don't know if you're realizing that. Like a lot of it is happening, right?
Yeah, of course, because it's so
Where-
expensive to live.
Right. So when they have the elevator, I mean, think of it this way. Even with like just my sister and having the elevator for my parents, it was a game changer.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my parents, after having surgery, back surgery, this and that, they're not able to like, you know, go up and down the stairs. And it's like, it changes everything. Groceries, everything, little things.
That's
you know?
interesting.
And it helps with just your lifestyle. Yeah, it elevates your lifestyle. Get it?
Yeah.
Elevates.
Elevator.
Yeah.
That should be your slogan.
Yeah.
We elevate
I
lifestyle.
think it's elevate. It's all of every elevator slogan is elevate. Yeah.
Elevate something. Elevate
Elevate
blank.
something. The business has its ups and downs, you know.
That's definitely interesting. Oh yeah. So custom homes, elevator,
Yeah. So
commercial buildings.
I'm still thinking about remaining in that market with the high end custom homes. Only because the elevators are more important to me. That's like that's a good change for me. And obviously the biggest thing is, you know, stack and rack. I like to have more properties, investment properties, because that's where you create wealth. You know, and you understand that. Like you're probably doing the same thing
Yeah. I mean,
with
to
the
an
rental
extent.
properties and everything.
To an extent.
I mean, I see that my construction company supplements the
It does. It goes very well hand in hand.
right.
Very well.
Because if I were an attorney or I was a doctor or whatever, maintaining rental properties is not for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of landlords can't even do that, and it's tough. So I like to maximize my own properties by whether it's knocking them down, building them new, gut renovating.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to have that.
How about the management once it's released?
Once it's I mean it's honestly not that difficult when it's new, right? So
Yeah,
when you
'cause
have a newer property, it's not that difficult. You have you have like a P trap that's leaking or whatever it is, and it's quick and easy. So that setup with the outside vendors of like your local appliance guy, your local plumber, your local, because the service guys, you know, are different than the trades that are
Yeah, of
working
course.
in
Yeah, it's
construction.
two different
A lot
things.
of people don't understand that. They're
Two
like,
different
oh, well, you have a plumber, you have a this, you
Yeah,
have
no,
that.
it's
It's
not the same.
completely different.
Not the same.
Service is completely different.
Yeah. New construction is different than service. Period. Even renovation.
It's different. The same guys that are running your PEX pipes are not the ones that are going to come in and fix a repair.
So you need different
You need a
crews?
handyman.
Like you need different.
You need a handyman. You need service. You need sometimes appliance repair guys are. Sometimes a handyman can't do what an appliance repair guy does.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, that's true too. Appliance repair is a whole nother thing.
whole other thing.
Once you
Whole
start to
other-
have to disassemble shit on the appliances,
So you got
Yeah,
subs for
some
like
of the
every stage
handymans
of the
can't
project
touch
too.
the condenser.
not stage. You just like,
like,
once
you know
it's
what I
fit. Like new construction is different from service. Like once you have people living there, you need a handyman. Period. Period. And that applies to the warranty that we
Yeah.
have too. Same thing.
Yeah.
Right. Like we have a specific handyman that only deals with service. Yes, the trades are technically supposed to warranty their work for a year, but it's not the amount of strain it puts on their business, which we try to try
it
to
does.
maximize that. But it's also going to take away from what you're
lose them.
doing. Yeah.
You lose them too. Those subcontractors are, you know, they're like, you know, machines, and they're
they
going
go.
in there, and you can't stop them. And if you stop them,
We got 6
yeah,
minutes.
they're
It's fine.
So just
yeah,
6
so
minutes.
whatever. Yeah.
So close up.
Yeah.
You're the host. We're just
Well,
talking.
I'm facilitating. I like this conversation. I'm just letting you guys know we got 6 minutes.
Oh, so let's talk about elevators.
Elevators, yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right?
It is.
And then I think yeah,
Niche as fuck.
yeah.
It's believe it or not, I'm the only elevator contractor now that's doing
Really?
yeah.
I
In
saw
New Jersey, New York. So
capitalize on that shit.
Yep. Let's talk after this show.
yeah, stay in touch. Productize the elevator.
Yeah, you know,
Like, subscribe, or whatever.
yeah, subscribe.
we're actually Goose Media is working on the the website, landing page, and
Okay.
Yeah, just wrapped up with that. So we
everything
just
else.
just
They're
waiting
doing
on.
a lot of the testimonials, really cool testimonials. We have an awesome elevator job right now that we're doing in Tuxedo Park. It's a glass elevator that's in the center of an existing spiral staircase. It's really cool.
So you got rid
Yeah.
of the spiral staircase.
No, we're keeping the spiral staircase, but we're actually
circle elevator.
adding landings to it. And yeah, it's a really
It's like a
really neat
spiral in a
project.
tube.
Yeah, we got a few amazing clients. Well, all of them are great clients, honestly, because I think that even that demographic, they understand and appreciate construction more than anyone.
Okay.
They're like in their 80s, late 70s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I guess so. But
They
that's who
know
you typically
that-
sell this to, or you
Yeah.
sell it to like their kids that want it for their parents.
a lot. Sometimes the kids too.
Okay.
Sometimes the kids, but it's not even a question of, oh, do I need it? Do I want it? Or it's a necessity more than a want. It's it's something that they're realizing this is required because they can't get out of their home and find another home in this market.
That's one story.
Yeah, and you know what? Aging in place, with your parents, or they want to stay where they're at. They don't want to leave.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of the times they don't like change because they're
Old
just
and
trying
stubborn.
to settle.
Because they're old and stubborn.
Yeah,
That's
it. Yeah, they also they also want to be with their grandkids in the
the
area
memories.
in Jersey and in New York. They a lot of the times they don't want to retire in Florida because they feel alone.
Yeah.
Unless there's family there, but
Yeah.
they'll go for 3 months out of the year. I've done a few elevators for people like that where they still have Florida homes, Cape Cod homes. They have second homes, and it's a huge demand. The other thing is, because the demand is so high, there's a waiting list. I mean, you have to wait for the elevator about maybe close to 16 weeks.
Yeah, 18. I was gonna say.
16 to 18 weeks. So it's not even, it's a dinosaur of an industry. You understand what you did with construction. You turned that into a corporate tech platform with homeowners. Like what you're doing is what construction companies that are doing public bid jobs are doing. Like you brought that into the residential sector where you're like, I'm giving it to the homeowner. I'm giving this product to the homeowner, and I'm organizing it in such a way that it's professional. That it's like,
Yeah, it makes
it's not your typical stigma of like, hey, let me call a contractor and let me see if he shows up or not, or like you change that completely.
Yeah.
You have your systems, so with the elevator, same thing. It's like, it's still a dinosaur of an industry that needs to
It's
have
only
customer
gonna grow.
service, there's absolutely no customer service. There's no anything. Yeah.
Even like the big people like Kone, Schindler, Otis, all those, it's impossible.
They don't care. They take 100% of their money up front.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, because they
don't care.
have
They're a
the
monopoly.
dominate. Yeah.
Oh, you don't want? Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
we have 500 people left on the list to do. So it's
Yeah. Like we had to chase them to get paid. We had to pay them like 50 grand. We called for like 2 weeks to pay them. We said, oh, like whatever.
That's wild.
I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Yeah,
How did we get to that
that's
level?
crazy.
That's
Yeah. So
I mean, they're like Kone's from Sweden. They moved here, and like Europe and America have like completely two different regulations. So I know one of the top project managers for Kone in the tri-state area. The guy runs like 80 projects himself. 80 fucking projects.
yeah, you know what? It's funny that you said that. So a lot of those elevator companies, they have about 12 PMs, and each one runs about 90 to like
Yeah.
100.
I thought you said they'd 6, like PM's max.
Yeah,
at like
like,
6.
No,
in
you know,
my
they got-
view, construction management, 6 projects. After that, quality goes down.
True.
Right. Those guys, I mean, they're just
So you can
spec.
imagine there's only like a few buildings around in a town.
Yeah.
Now with residential, there are like
Hundreds.
hundreds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or thousands even, yeah.
Yeah. So that hasn't even been captured yet. So anyway,
Elevators, baby.
Yeah.
Cool.
This conversation needs a part 2. This conversation
part
needs a part
2.
2.
All right.
For sure.
All right, so can you want to close out?
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys. Subscribe and get the premium. Get the
Clap.